Jaylen, after Jayson went down, a lot of the talk around the team or on the outside felt very final, that things were over. People were talking about next season already, the off season already. Did you guys hear any of that talk? Did that bother you?
I can only speak for myself. I'm not sure about the rest of the guys, but what I will say is I appreciate the fans that showed up tonight. It was a great atmosphere. It was loud, and I know it's easy to kind of write things off. Obviously, unfortunate what happened to JT, but we still got basketball to be played. I believe in this group, so don't count us out just yet.
And what was the message? You obviously had the initial shock. You move on to ahead of this game and the rest of the series. What is the message? What's like the rallying cry, so to speak, in the locker room?
Defense. That's all I'm talking about is defense. It's just nothing easy. Guard your yard. Find a way to get stops. Dig deep. Mano y mano. Win your matchups. Play defense. And that's pretty much been the emphasis.
Speaking of defense, Luke Cornett comes in, changes the game in the third quarter. You guys always have a lot of fun with him, kind of laughing with him, laughing at him, somewhere in between. Like, how does he bring fun energy into such a serious moment, and how crucial was that to turning the season around?
Luke was huge tonight, defensively and offensively. Like, he was stellar, and that's the type of performances we need in the playoffs. Like, defensively, getting stops, making plays, big finishes. He got that backwards lob. Luke was great tonight.
Luke credited you and Al for kind of getting guys together yesterday and talking about the situation, talking about where you guys go from here. What kind of compelled you to do that, and what were you hoping to get across by doing that?
Just come out and play. Obviously, the air kind of left the room after hearing the news with JT. So, we didn't want to go out like that. We didn't want to make no excuses. We didn't want to come out and give up or just turn the season in like what everybody else probably would expect. So we just said to the guys, said to each other, let's come out, keep an open mind. Like, just come out and play basketball, be ready to go, and guard your ass off and take it from there. And we was able to find a way to win tonight.
In Game 7 a couple years ago against Miami, Jayson got hurt in the first play, and you kind of put a lot of blame on yourself for not being able to handle that and be better for your team. How has your approach changed in such situations and especially now when he's not out there?
Just continue to be aggressive, continue to trust in my game and my development. Tonight was able to find like a flow, a rhythm in the game. We played with a different pace, but defensively we got stops. We still got to do a better job on the glass. Defensively, we did better in the second half. First half, we got to limit them to one shot, but just mindset, mentality. Next play. Faith, consistency, and hard work pays off.
Jaylen, how do you view your role? Obviously, Jayson's going to be out for a long time, even into next year, carrying the franchise forward, being a leader. Like, how do you, I know it's just a couple of days now, but how do you view your role in carrying this team forward here?
Just be who I am, and I think that's it. Just be myself, come out, be aggressive, and get it done in multiple ways. It's a team. We've always been a team. I've always preached team. I've done whatever, to kind of push this team forward. So whatever is needed of me, I'm excited to be able to, facilitate in whatever role. So it could change each game, each night, defensively, offensively. But the goal is to just lead, just be myself.
Jaylen, how are you able to use Jalen Brunson's aggression against him and to get him into that foul trouble?
Just playing the game. JB's tough. I give him all the credit in the world. He's tough. He uses his body well. He's physical. He knows how to sell and get those calls. And he's crafty. He makes tough shots, and he likes those big moments. So, I just was my goal was just to stay between him and the basket. You know what I mean, and just play defense. You know, as best as they allowed me to. I try to keep my hands back without fouling, but just guard. You know, I feel like I can guard with the best of them. So just trying to, you know, keep our hands back and then and motivate our team as well on defense.
Jaylen, how hard did he get you in the stomach with that elbow?
He got me in the groin.
Oh,
and
gotcha. My bad.
Yeah, but it's all good. You know, it is what it is. You know, playoffs.
And there was one play where in the fourth quarter, you guys, like 7 minutes left, you passed up an open three, and you drove and you found a cutting Drew for a layup. It seemed like the patience up on a big lead and just kind of passing up the good shot for the best shot. Like, what was that mentality like tonight when you had the lead?
Yeah, just being poised and just seeing the help, seeing the defense, and making the right reads, you know, over and over again. You know, just getting to the paint, like what I like to do. And they were collapsing. Our guys was moving. We played with pace and was able to find guys on open shots. But right there in that play, just, you know, we up. I could have probably shot that three, but, you know, saw Mitchell Robinson was on me, so that means nobody's at the rim because he was the only big out there. So if he's away from the play, I drive to the paint, that means we're gonna get something good.